Y'all, welcome back to another episode of the CVMK show. Because it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm your host, Cody Vernon Marshall Kelly. Hence the name CVMK. Hosts with the mostest, and you're listening to the best podcast on God's green planet because I am the best podcast host. Look, we have an amazing episode. And one of the cool things about this episode is we're going to feature somebody who's really doing it. I'm talking about an entrepreneur who owns her own space, owns her own building, is really blowing up the hair game here in Chicago. Somebody that can go from A to Z, also has product. You know, a lot of people can do little, I don't have hair, so I don't know. But they can do little things with some hair, right? But are they really about the business? So we want to learn what makes this woman go, what makes her a super shero, because she is a shero. But look, guys, if you want to keep seeing amazing leaders like we have on a day, I need you to help a brother out. We're almost at 12,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're at 11.5. I need you to get me to 12,000. You know how you do that? Go to YouTube right now. Click the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. I'm going to put it in the comments. Instagram, we're over 71,000 on the CVMK_global. That's for the supplements. But I want you to also blow up the other business page. It is what it is _show. And then CVMK 33, we're almost at 10,000. That's how it goes down because we're growing this thing. Oh, this year we're gonna break. Shay, you in trouble, dog. I'm coming, dog. I'm coming. I am coming for you. I'm gonna pause on that. So we have an amazing show. When we get back, we have an amazing person. After a quick word from our sponsors. Carleen!
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am well. I'm well. I cannot complain about anything.
Well, look, I'm super excited that you took time out of your busy schedule for us bald-headed creatures down here. You have skill, and I don't say that to, just be saying it. Women, if they don't like your hair done, they gonna let other women know, right? Women don't. Especially black women, they don't, when they come about their hair, they don't play about that.
That's right.
But every experience from my wife to my mother, I've never heard anything negative. Your name is spoken in the gates, as the Bible would say, right? So, first of all, tell us about yourself. Why did you go down this path? Because you could have chose anything, but why this specific calling for you?
Well, a little bit about me. I'm 42 years old. I'm an 80s baby. And back in the 80s, when I was born, there was so many changes going on with Black women's hair. Around 85, 86, I would watch my Aunt Pat, do hair in her home salon. And I would watch like a hawk. I would sit on that crate and watch her do my mother's hair. She would cut, weave. She would do all of these different things. And I was kind of just really drawn to it, For me, I think that hair kind of like chose me. I didn't really choose hair. And I say that, it sounds funny, but I say that because again, I've been doing hair over, I'm going to say around 30 years. I started really young because I would watch my aunt and I was just drawn to it. But something else really sparked my passion for hair. I received a relaxer, the kitty perm, when I was maybe about 7 years old. And my hair didn't take well to it all. I grew up in a household. My mother had big, thick, beautiful hair. My sisters had thick hair, and the other one was like really curly. And my hair was just like limp and fine and fragile and didn't hold a style. So it didn't take well to my hair at all. And so I think being so interested in hair, the transformation of it, and then having my first relaxer at 7 years old and it really damaging my hair, it sparked a need for me to actually like my hair because I looked in the mirror daily and did not like my hair. And so you talk about being bald-headed. I mean, I wasn't bald, but I was known as the bald-headed girl in the classroom.
Sure.
I was a child in the classroom whose hair was short. Um, my mother would do her best, of course, to style it. She would even send me other places to get it done. My aunt would do it sometimes, but she moved shortly after that. She moved to Colorado, so my mother would send me to different places to get my hair done, and I never liked it. I never liked it.
Mm,
So when I say hair chose me, um, I looked in the mirror as a little girl and knew like I could probably make my hair look better, than the places my mom is sending me. And so what I learned at that young age, just trying to do my hair and experimenting with my hair, was that um, it was a true, like, authentic form of expression for me.
sure.
It was something that every time I looked in the mirror, I enjoyed looking at it. I liked it, and I hadn't experienced that before going other places getting my hair done. I'd look in the mirror and be like, it doesn't fit me. So it started out as kind of like a confidence issue, looking at just not liking my hair,
Yeah.
to deciding, well, let me try to see if I could make it look a little better. And then next thing you know, I became the person that helped other little girls with hair issues, fix their hair. Um, Next thing you know, I was doing everybody's hair in the neighborhood because that creativity was flowing out of me, that it was something that was already there. And I believe that incident with my hair coming out and me just not liking my hair really sparked that creativity.
So from this trauma, you got this relaxer, it ended up just really damaging your hair, and from this pain, it created purpose,
Yes,
and the purpose of doing hair. And I think purpose is great, but purpose has to be channeled. Like purpose
it
just can't
does.
be, you know, uh, energy just hanging out there in limbo, right?
Yeah.
So how do you take this new, found calling and say, I need to create a system that can create capital, right? Like, what does that look like? Because this is my pushback. I don't know. I only watch what my wife allows me to watch, right? So I see a lot of TikTokers and I see a lot of things, and I think now the focus on hair, particularly women of color, their hair, Black women specifically, their uniqueness and everything is starting to now become like in vogue, right? Like, oh, it's
Hmm.
it's acceptable, and that's even debatable to some extent what our hair is. But how do you build infrastructure around that?
For me, I'm just going to be honest. It was not necessarily a way, I didn't see it as a way to make money at first.
Okay.
Um, Going back to what I said, I didn't choose hair, it chose me. I remember just really having like this passion and this fire for doing it, to the point where I would get in trouble every single day, Cody, for having people in my mother's house doing their hair, and I was doing it for free. And my mother would say, I got an old school mama. She didn't want nobody in her house if she wasn't there, to approve of them being there.
Yeah.
So I would literally do hair every day. I would sneak people in the house. It was crazy. Like, and then one day, people would tip me here and there, but I never expected any money from it. So one day my mother sat me down and she was like, hey, you must really enjoy this, because I don't know nobody that crazy that's going to get in trouble every day for doing the same thing.
Sure.
And I explained to her, I said, Mom, it's the first thing I think about when I wake up and the last thing I think about when I go to bed. And so my mother actually began to support me in that area. She gave me some ground rules. All right, if you're going to do hair, it's going to be these hours. It's not going to go past this time. You have to go to school. You can't do it this, you can only do it these particular days. And it started there. And she began to invest in hair tools and things like that. I was really young. So I always tell people my first salon was in my mother's den, you know. And from there, I realized through my grandmother came over one Easter weekend, and there were people leaving the beauty shops. And I was about 14 when this happened. And she said, people are leaving the beauty shops. She said, they're paying top dollar over there and you ain't charging enough. She
Yeah.
said, it's time and a half now. They're coming over here and it's after 6 o'clock. Now the price is no longer $25. You know, it's $50. She began to show me, how to actually make money off of it. And so I think the point of me saying all of that is I think when you're doing what you're supposed to do, what you're passionate about, what your
Right.
purpose to do, the money will come. It was never about money for me when I first started. Um,
I like it. I think that's accurate. I think when you know that you're called to do something, you're doing it for the right reasons, and thus in turn the right results
yep.
follow. But I do want to knock on this because
Mm-hmm.
I think entrepreneurship is very difficult,
Oh, it is.
and we make it harder on ourselves
Yes, we do.
because and I want to hit on this before I go to break because I know we got a while. So
Yeah.
I got you. So we're gonna get into it. But you know, the cool thing about, and I know I wrote it as the last, but I'm gonna throw it in the at the front part. When you start off doing something, and let's just say one person gives you a compliment, somebody else who just don't know what to do sees your compliment as necessarily their calling.
Mm.
My compliment had nothing to do with your calling.
Yes.
And you get copycat syndrome. I think the biggest hurdle to, not the biggest, but one of the biggest, particularly Black entrepreneurship,
Okay.
is copycat syndrome. In your experience, you know, you start, and obviously, anybody can do anything. It's not like you have a monopoly on anything, but do you feel like you'd be like, dang, like you ever had one of those? You be like,
You know what? I feel different about that, and let
all right,
me tell you why. I
okay,
just told you that at 6 years old, I was watching my aunt like a hawk.
yeah,
I sat on that crate, right?
all right,
It didn't make me want to copy her, but it inspired me to do something that was already in me. So I haven't experienced someone just trying to do hair just because I'm doing it.
okay,
However, I have experienced people being inspired to use their own creativity.
sure,
Me personally, I used to have assistants around. I used to hire people to help me do hair, like help shampoo and things like that.
sure.
I pushed them because I've always attracted assistants that had a creativity or had a creative edge or had a knack for doing hair.
Yeah.
So I preferred those type of assistants because it meant something to me that I had a person on my team that actually cared about the client as much as I do. So for me, I already seen in those people the gift of creativity and the possibility of them taking it and actually running with it. So like today, I don't use an assistant because I realized all of my assistants probably gonna do hair because I attract those that are already interested in doing hair.
Gotcha.
And it does inspire just the way that I was inspired. So I mean, the copycat syndrome, I get it. A lot of people
Yeah.
feel like, oh, they're just doing it because I'm doing it. But I remember there was a time that I was copying somebody too. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. All right, that's fair. I like it. I'm not even gonna push on that because I was gonna be like, I was trying to give my little cat ways, but I'm not even gonna push.
I mean, I do get though that there are people who feel like that's competition, and I don't think there's anything wrong with competition.
No,
Simply because if you're the first to market something, right, or innovate something,
yeah,
or you market this thing and you're the first to do it, as soon as you do it, there's going to be somebody else who copies it or whatever.
true.
But it keeps you on your toes. Like it pushes you to get even better at it or add a twist to it. I remember, like I said, watching different people. My brother had this girlfriend back in the day, and She was my friend, and
Yeah.
she was very creative too. And we ended up doing hair together actually, but we had two different styles. I was more concerned about your hair, which she was more focused on the weave. Now, I can do weave because I watched, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
learned, but my strength is keeping your hair on your head growing
Right.
while putting in weaves. So I think that copies, people want to know, is that a real thing? I don't know. I don't buy into it. I think that, you know, it's cool to inspire somebody else.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to inspire. Look, we could return. I want to get into it because the term alpha woman or boss lady is becoming like a common thing. What does that mean? What does that
Yeah.
mean for you? Is there any type of negative not confrontation, but any negative, I would say, coincidental truths, particularly in the realm of faith. So we're going to jump into it. You just have a good heart, but no, competition does get you on your toes. When we return,
I think so.
we'll be back with Carleen.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid-free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
Y'all go to www.cvmkglobal.store. When you get to the page, on the left, there's a bar, 3-bar icon. Click on it, scroll down to signature supplements. All the goodies are there. I want you to get the whey. Comes in chocolate, best whey protein out, 110 calories, 25 grams per scoop. Nothing but whey protein isolate and digestive enzymes. You want to build muscle, you want to lose fat, it starts with your diet. Today, I did not take my pre-workout Superpower or Warrior Thirst because it was a straight cardio day and I didn't need it because I wasn't doing any heavy lifting. But of course, when I do Superpower or Warrior Thirst, primarily Superpower because I just like a little bit more edge to it. But it's at www.cvmkglobal.store. I want to show you this. I usually don't bring this out. I developed this product. It's called Fight Beaties. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I wanted a product to help me manage diabetes better. It has the vitamin C, the biotin, the magnesium, the zinc, the magnesium, chromium, banana bee leaf, Google, bitter melon, licorice root extract, cinnamon bark powder, yellow flower, cayenne pepper, juniper berry, white mulberry leaf, alpha lapaic, L-taurine. All the things you need to help manage your diabetes better. I'm trying to help you stay here so we can focus on real prayer on the altar and not things that a dietitian in the treadmill can cure. www.cvmkglobal.store. All right, so look, boss lady. I'm a boss. It has a negative connotation when you hear it, depending on how it's said. I'm a boss. Carleen, you can actually say that.
They're not very. I don't.
I know you don't. But I know you love the Lord, so you're not gonna. But when you hear it, right, from others who don't necessarily share that,
yeah.
What does that mean? Like, if you hear I'm a boss, does that mean like so as a man I'm not a boss? Like, what does that mean?
You know what? I think the perception is what of the term alpha female, or boss lady, or I'm a boss. Some can see it. I think it just depends on the individual. Like, some can see it as a positive, and then some can see it as a negative. Like me personally, if someone is implying assertiveness, like if they're referring to someone being assertive or having like great leadership, I think that's a positive way to look at it. However, if it comes across as someone thinking somebody is more like in dominance,
sure,
or arrogance, then it turns into like a negative thing, right? So me personally, I just think it depends on like context and the individual's perspective, like who's the person who's actually using the term. Sure. If you got a woman around you, like you said, as a man, is it that I'm not the man, I'm not the boss, and I'm a man? It just depends on what energy is behind it.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know,
For you, when you step,
I can't see it as either or because everybody doesn't share the same mindset. You know what I'm saying?
that's true. That's true. For you, when you step into your space, right, as
Mm-hmm.
head of your business, as an owner, salon owner, also a product maker, female hair products. Like the role of being a CEO is complicated because
Yeah.
you juggle many different things. You're the head of marketing, you're the head of R&D, you're also the CFO, and bag the groceries, whatever is needed to be done, you do. What do you think for yourself has been some of the most difficult challenges as far as taking it to the next level?
As you stated, it does come with uh, a lot of different responsibilities.
Yeah.
Um, I think for me, I've had to learn about not really being pressured into making a decision. That was one of the biggest things that I used to really struggle with, like the pressures of making decisions, because it's going to backfire on me, whatever decision I make. I always say I'm a one-man band. Like you said, you're in charge of everything. And so it was like a burden sometimes to make a decision. So that was a struggle that I feel like I have gotten over in all the years that I've owned my salon now, um, going on 14 years. I've
Wow.
had different stylists come and go, and now I'm in a space where I'm back in the salon by myself, and I plan to, get a larger space, and I'll be managing people again. Um, so that was another thing, leading a team. That's a struggle because you have all of these diverse personalities. Me personally, I've always ran um, a booth rental salon, so everybody's pretty much independent contractors.
Yeah.
And so as an independent contractor, you kind of run your business how you want, you know? Um, so I found that when you're leading a team, but not necessarily leading the team because they work for themselves, they just
Gotcha.
pay you to rent the booth, that was a struggle. So I think my next salon will be like a commission-based place where I'm paying them to
Mm,
so that I could make sure that everything is flowing. The brand is all flowing and is representing the company in a way that I think, that it should be going as the leader. So that was a struggle, just managing people with all of these different personalities and different beliefs, and
yeah.
some being more professional than others or not. Um, Go ahead.
I like it. I like it. The personality aspect is, I think, always it's always present, and no
Hmm.
matter what setting,
Yes.
personality is what it is. Um, we mitigate that through innovation, right? You said in
Hmm.
the next phase, probably more commission based structure. This is, through
Hmm.
innovation. How has technology affected the hair industry?
That was going to be my next point. Well,
Um,
part of it.
go for it. Go for it.
So for me, what I've noticed is public image has been one of the challenges as a CEO, especially having this social media age. You got to be careful what you say. You got to be careful what you put out because you are representing your brand. You are representing your company. So, um, just the age of social media puts you under scrutiny,
Mm,
when it comes to how you should present yourself or what you should post or what you should not post or what you should post more of, or um, like my thing right now, what we spoke about this where I'm trying to make sure that I am showing up online and things like that.
Right.
However, when I post a video or a picture of my work, I don't use filters. The reason I don't use filters is because I don't want to mislead any customer. I want the customer to actually be able to see the work and know that this is the authentic quality of the work. I'm not polishing up the picture or, using these different filters to make the video or the work look better than it actually is. And so for me, I kind of get a bad taste in my mouth when I look at
call them out right now.
Well, it's nobody to call out because it's really nobody to call out because I'm not really in tune like that. I'm just being honest. I'm not really in tune like that because I'm just really trying to get into the social media thing. I'm an old school hairstylist. I still like to have my feet hit the ground and shake hands and talk to people and, just pass my information, take a phone number, give a phone number. I still like that. So this is all new to me. It's kind of new age, if you ask me. So I get a little bit disturbed when you have clients that come in and they're like, oh, are you going to do such and so to my hair? And I'm like, no, that's not my process. Oh, because I was watching YouTube and the young lady on YouTube said, don't do this, do this. And I'm like, hold on. YouTubers are not necessarily licensed, and that cannot compare to my license. Like, I've studied this, I've put in the work, I got the hours, like I'm state board certified. So nobody can come to me, tell me what the YouTubers are doing, especially if they're not licensed. Now, there are some licensed, qualified hairstylists who are giving great advice out here, but it's so much misinformation out here on social media and platforms like YouTube and everything like that, where people are just taking it in and then they come in to challenge the professional, and that's a no-no. I don't.
You know what it is? And I think you hit upon it. That's why you need to have your own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right now, we're living in an age where it's not about truth. It's about whoever can make the most noise most frequently. So it's consistency and fervor. So if I say 2 + 2 = 5, if I say it loud enough with more effect, with a filter, and I keep saying it, some idiot out there is going to really think 2 + 2 really does equal 5. That's the danger of social media. It's not that we should shy away from it, because it is a tool, but it needs to be seen as a tool. The problem is when you haven't been exposed to truth, you confuse the tool for truth.
Yes.
So they've never really been to a shop. Like, I used to have to go to a beauty shop, have to go with my mom.
Yeah.
Then all day Saturday, be blown, be put in the corner in the kids' corner because the women were talking about something wild, and I had
you gotta go over there, go be with the kids.
Waiting to exhale 1,000 times. I'm like, what the hell? So like that was an experience. If you've never experienced that, you're gonna be like, what should this look like? So YouTube is your only point of reference.
That's true.
Here's what happens though. When you go against now I'm going to create the new wave of truth, right? You have to combat it with consistency. And this is something that, I've been really for myself on. Like, I gotta be on it. Even when I'm dog tired, I need to be on here with Carleen talking, because people need to understand where it's coming from. And that leads me to this is, you've done these things, but you also did it within the context of a family. You didn't do it, siloed. A lot of people think you have to give up family for a dream, that you can't have both.
Mm-hmm.
And on full honesty and transparency, you've been married a while, you have kids, congratulations, you're expecting again.
Thank you.
Before that, I'm gonna give you a break, because I would have cut to a break. I would have asked you, how did you do it with a family? But we'll cut to a quick break, and then I'll be back.
I literally just tried the best pre-workout on the planet. With Superpower pre-workout, you have increased focus and a power boost every single time you work out. It's not only packed with 225 milligrams of caffeine, but it also has citrulline and creatine. It's insane how much energy and focus I had during my workouts. If you're ready to take your workouts to the next level, then ditch your current pre-workout and get the Superpower pre-workout to be your own hero.
Y'all, www.cvnkglobal.store. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You want to shout better? You want to praise God fast? You know, when the praise come on, you can't keep up. You know why? You don't have the energy. You don't have the zoomph. You're only going to get that type of power with superpower. Because you got Holy Ghost, but if you got to move a 400-pound body, you ain't going to be moving that fast. So superpower, www.cbukglobal.store. Okay, so you did it while managing, while being a wife, being a mother. How did you do this?
Well, let me just say this. It did not always start. It didn't start where I was able to to truly manage it.
Gotcha.
We got I'm a mother of 4, but remember I was a teen mom. I had my first child at 16 years old. I was still living with my mom, just really getting into my love and passion for hair. Little backstory, like I told you, I was doing hair in my mom's house, and then it became too much. And then I rented my first booth at 14 years old, unlicensed. I was actually viewed as an intern. The woman gave me a state board exam book, best thing she could have did, because I learned a lot during that time. But I was 14, so I was used to, working in a salon, and then I became pregnant. And then I had my son, and I was just like, well, I got to find something different to do. I got to find another way, because I can't be in the shop after school.
Mm-hmm.
Or not just being in the shop. Some days in the shop as an entrepreneur, you may not make any money. So I was looking for something more stable, and I got a little part-time job after school, and I would go at 4. I had to be there at 4, and I would get off at 9. And after the first 2 weeks, I knew this is not going to work. I've been going away from my baby all day, and the money was so little that I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. So I quit that job, and I decided to go back into my mother's home to do hair. And so I still was just part-time, but my mother, my sisters were a huge support in that they helped me to figure out that balance. And then after I graduated high school to go to hair school, my mother worked nights so that I can go to school in the morning and do a little hair after school. So I wasn't balancing it by myself. And then at some point it became, there was a time where my mother's shift switched. So then I had my son at the salon with me sometimes.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend at the time, current husband, he would step in when he's done with work and come get my son. And I had no real schedule, because the purpose at this time to make money, because now I got a son and I got to pay booth rent and I got to pay tuition at school. So I have all of these responsibilities. And so now the focus is you got to earn some money. You have to have an income. So it was quite a struggle. I had my second child at 20 years old. And so now I got 2 kids. And honestly, it was really tough for me to actually complete school. I went to cosmetology school at 17. So straight out of high school, I started at Truman very briefly. We were living west when I started, and then we moved south right after graduation. And so I was taking a 2-hour and 15-minute train and bus ride up to Truman, and I was passing this small cosmetology school every day going. So I decided to drop Truman and just go to cosmetology school. And all of this, now looking back, all of this was just a part of the path, But back to being able to balance, I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for my support system, for my mother, my sisters, my now husband, helping me out, stepping in. And that was my first set of children. The second set of children, say fast forward 9 years later,
Right.
I got married in March. I opened my business in July, and I gave birth to my third child in November, all in the same year. That is when I knew that I did not want things to be the way it had been.
Sure.
I did not want to raise I was older now. I was 29. So I did not want to raise my child in the salon or with that busy, hectic lifestyle. You know, I now have a husband and my older children, they were getting older, and I have been praying about it, like, Lord, I need a new strategy. I need something different. I need to figure this out because I was not exposed to um, a professional salon setting, if you will. You know,
Sure.
I was exposed to shop culture. That's just where you make all your money, you take walk-ins, you do as many clients as you can, and you remain available to your clients. That was the culture that I was exposed to straight out of hair school. And so it wasn't until maybe like a year and a half before I actually opened my own place that I worked in a salon where I was the youngest operator there. And every stylist that worked there, including the owner, they started at 6 a.m. and they were done by 2. I was the only one that started at 10 a.m. and the earliest I would get done was 10 p.m. and the latest was probably like 2, 3 in the morning. And that was crazy. And I was just looking around me like, how am I still here? And everybody else is going home and they grown, they kids grown. I still got little kids. I have to figure something, I have to change. And I just asked God for that strategy. And I thank God for just that shift because I no longer work like that. I work 3 days a week, you know. So now I've just gotten to that point in my 30s and now 40s that I've been able to balance it. And how I've been able to do that is just being really intentional about my time. I know how to cut off that. I have a cutoff point. I serve my clients one-on-one. I have a tight schedule. I don't do same day appointments. I don't do walk-ins. Who's ever on the books, that's who's getting serviced. Sure. If you're not on the books, I got to schedule you sometime down the line. I'm very intentional now about my time and making sure that I am getting off at the appointed time so that I can get home to my family and do what needs to be done there. And that's been the way that I've been operating for the last 13 years.
I like it. And you definitely hit upon it. Having a strategy, focusing on what's really important, i.e. time, understanding that, hey, I'm a person that runs a business, you know, just showing up to be showing up, you know, does me no good because you're taking the one thing I can't get back. I think that is absolutely brilliant. Here's my nugget. Be intentional with your time. Nuggets, I agree with you. Hello to you. So when you know, you mentioned everybody stepping up, and shout out to Auntie Doll.
Yes,
shout out to Auntie Doll.
To ever do it.
I feel like everybody has an Auntie Doll story if you went to at any point in time. You have been blessed to have the support of your ecosystem. Everybody in some way, shape, or form has really stepped up and thrown their weight behind you.
Absolutely.
Maybe some people have not had that opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. Like as a leader, as someone who has, you know, evolved and has seen it on this end, has gone to different, you know, shop cultures and has opened up there and developed product. Like, what would you, or what type of advice would you give to somebody that says, man, I don't feel the support, right? What would you say to that person?
Well, I do believe that I've also been divinely supported. Gotcha. Like, whereas really relying on that life path, like knowing that this is something that God called me to.
Yeah.
And for me, that's where the support came from. Just believing like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and by any means necessary, I'm going to make it happen. I know that my family helped me because I was helping myself. They saw me striving, making it happen. And that's, to me, what made people step up. But for a person that feels unsupported, I would just really encourage them to find their tribe. There are people who want to support you.
I believe so.
Whether there's a person that you don't even know and they're a child care provider, like say for instance, my sister Shalandra, who's a child care provider, but she also nannies on the side.
Yeah.
And her thing is, well, I want to be a help to those who need child care outside of child care. Like, you have to find ways to be able to push through. Find your tribe. Talk to people. Say what the issues are. Because a lot of us are too proud, to say, hey, I need help.
I agree. I think finding your tribe I think that's the next step. It's a hard step, though.
It's hard. It's hard.
Be honest, you are born into a tribe that may not necessarily want you, like you, appreciate you. Jesus said it best: "A prophet is without honor in his own home."
Mm-hmm.
So to find this extension, right, this community that can wrap themselves around you and get you and allow your dream to come about is difficult, because a lot of us, I think, are fearful.
Mm-hmm.
We're fearful of rejection. We're fearful of time. Maybe I'm too young. I'm too old. Maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And I also think it's a fear of other people's expectations. Something in 2023 happened to me. I no longer cared about other people's expectations. I said, if it ain't April and it ain't Jesus, I really care less. Right?
That's right. You're right. And you have to get to that point.
That's wild, but it's only really two voices that matter in my head. I'm like,
but you really have to get to that point. That's the point that you have to get to, where you understand, okay, this is something I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
I'm divinely supported. God is going to make a way for me to get to where I'm trying to go. That's why Paul, PJ, and Naya was at the shop with me sometimes when my mama couldn't do it, when my sister couldn't do it, when my husband wasn't available to do it. All of them working and, doing life. They were with me. You just do what you have to do and let God do the rest.
That's true.
And finding your tribe, like you said, it's a hard step because you don't trust everybody. You're not comfortable saying, hey, I need help, So like you said, that fear of rejection is set in, and all of those other things that make you feel like I can't do it. I say never think of it as you can't do it. You got to kind of create that workability. And it may not look like the advice I can give you, Right. It may not look like what somebody else, I don't have any other advice but to say, look to God to set up that network for you, set up that tribe.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because that's what did it. I remember calling my father to tell my father that I was expecting my second child. And I was 20 years old, and he said to me, you may want to rethink your career. I wasn't doing very well in my career. I was struggling to finish school. I had one child already, and I was still trying to build that clientele. I had clients, but sometimes it was slow, so I had money sometimes I didn't. Well, he said, you may want to go back to school, get a real education, and get a real job. That hit me like a dagger to my heart. Like, it made me feel like he didn't believe in me, It was hard, and I said to him, I said, well, Dad, I don't do what works for other people. I do what works for myself. And I said, I appreciate the advice. I said, but I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I said, so thanks for the advice. I got off the phone with him. I bawled because I didn't call him for him to shoot me down. And that wasn't his intention, of course. His intention was to give me some advice, to help me make some more money. Like, you got to go do something different because your money ain't adding up, But I believed that I was going to do what God has shown me that I was going to do, that I would be successful in this. And I believe wholeheartedly that this is what I was supposed to be doing. And so I watched doors open up, just when I thought things were going so bad, I watched doors open up. I watched different opportunities come. I didn't share this with you earlier, which I was supposed to, but I've had opportunities to work on movie sets. I got a couple national ads out there, but I got music videos I've worked on. I've styled for the Grammys. Like, I've done some great things. What if I had given up, Cody, just because it didn't look like it was working out? What if I had stopped?
Yeah.
And then making the decision to give my gifts and my creativity and my business back to God. Just really making a decision like, Lord, I want this business to be everything that you would have for it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that, God has sustained my business.
Sure.
He has sent the right people. It's more than just a hair transformation.
I get you.
So that's that divine support. Like, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, God can use that.
I get you. I want to go this, and I know we're coming to a close. I want to talk about overcoming gatekeepers. I think gatekeepers is a real thing, and I think it's a real thing in just life, not just
It is.
parts of it. So when we return from this new break, we'll see how this video goes. We're gonna hit gatekeepers.
Flex it.
Shoulders and back workout. That's a wrap. 2 hours in. Superpower works the whole way through. Keep you going. Lock in, man. Good choice. Superpower.
All right, yo, shout out to my trainer. That's Malcolm. Everybody wants to know, what it's like. Yeah, I mean, I have a trainer, of course, but shout out to one of Chicago's best out there. But he uses Superpower. You know why? Because it's the best pre-workout out there. www.cvmkglobal.store. I'm telling you, I'm trying to put y'all on game. You're not listening to me. Superpower. www.cvmkglobal.store. All right, gatekeepers is a real thing. Gatekeepers make life hard unnecessarily. It's like you have these individuals that have information and they refuse to share it and they block. They're like King Sauls, and they're not bold enough to kill you, but they're not gonna help you either. And they're almost just as bad as the enemy, right? You asked me, you was like, Cody, what do you use for some of the ads and stuff and the creativity you put together? I shared it with you. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, this is what I use. This is software. This is how I do it. Because I'm not a gatekeeper. Because it took me forever to figure this out. And like nobody would talk to me.
Yes.
How are you managing, or how have you managed getting past the King Sauls in every aspect of your life, from this to ministry?
So that's a great question, because I always have had that issue where it's like, I'm open book. You ask me something, if I got it, I'm sharing it. Even if you don't ask me and I know you could use it, I'm sharing it, But I've always had and ran into the issue where you go to someone that you see is doing the thing that you want to do, or the thing that aligns with, where you're going, and you go to them and you ask them, and they give you like I had to work hard for this. I paid X amount of dollars, and I can't just share that information. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was going through that, being in the game 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to fail at so many attempts to learn things for myself so that I can pass the information on. I believe that each one teach one. I believe in you. What you learn, you teach. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal thing. How I've dealt with it is ask anyway. Keep asking, because there's going to be one person that's like me. They say, oh, I don't let it make me feel like, well, I can't ask nobody because ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody. I just keep asking. If there's something I don't know, and then, of course, researching and learning and reading for yourself is definitely, first and foremost. But if you see people that are doing what you want to do, you can't let the rejection or, them shutting down make you feel like it's not worth asking.
That's true. That's true. I like
it. I just feel like, and then again, we talked about the tribe. You need a tribe in every area. So I actually, in 2020, there was a group that I became a part of, hairstylists, called Bring It to the Table. And it was the first time that I felt like I was, and we talking about just 4 years ago, 2020.
Right.
First time out of all this time I've been doing hair where I was around other hairstylists that wanted to openly share things and receive from people in the industry that, that are doing different things or whatever. And so that was a blessing. It showed me that those type of people do exist. Everybody's not a gatekeeper. I mean, there were several stylists that came together on a monthly basis just to share what they knew. We talked about retirement. We talked about the union. I mean, we talked about so many things that nobody's talking about in this industry.
Yeah.
And these are, it took a while for me to find it,
Sure.
But these are things that I have had questions about to older stylists. And then let's be real, some people don't necessarily know the things that you're asking about either.
It's true.
You go to some people and you think they may know more than you because maybe they've been in it longer or they're older.
Yeah.
And you find out, well, they just don't know. But then you have those that you see they're doing the thing that you actually want to do, and they're withholding the information. So I personally have gotten over that by continuing to be on that quest for that knowledge, whether you get it from someone, studying, reading, finding out, researching for myself, and then making sure that I'm putting that out there. Like, I'm not being a gatekeeper, because you attract what you
are.
See,
that's true.
You get it back. So
that's true. That's true. I enjoyed it. Elaine, you have been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Cody.
No problem. Where give a shout out. What are you working on? Where can they book an appointment? What new projects, products you have rolling out? Where can the people connect with you?
Well, on Instagram, you can connect with me at H2P Salon Studio. The same on TikTok, H2P Salon Studio. On Facebook, I'm just Carleen Clay-Smith. And I'm currently working on, told you guys I'm expecting a new baby. So I'm working on really shifting my career into education, so that I can not work as much behind the chair. So I'm working on a beauty supply store and like a learning institute. It'll all be in one building where you can get beauty supplies, get your hair done, and I'll be hosting some classes in there too. So that's what I'm working on this year. Hopefully everything is up and running by the end of 2024. As far as new products, I do have a couple new products that I'm going to be introducing soon. One of them being a male line for your skin. I have a hair and body butter now that it smells very sweet. So now I want to kind of change the fragrance to make it more friendly, because the guys really love the hair and body butter, but it smells too sweet. So I'm going to be changing the fragrance on that. And I'm just really excited because I know that there's more that's going to come from that. There's more that's going to come within the product lines, and because I'm doing a little bit revamping as well. So there you have it.
Y'all connect with Carleen. Hit her up on the gram, H2B Salon Studio. Hit her up on Facebook. Get the body cream men out there. When you get done working out, your hands look like T-Rex hands like mine. You need something to help you get back on track. And if you want to keep seeing amazing leaders like we have on today, you know what you got to do. YouTube. I should play the video for you. You know what? I'm going to play the video for you. Let the video explain, then I'll be back. Hey, what's up? It's CVMK33. Look, I want you to subscribe, hit the notification bell, subscribe here, everywhere, so you can get the latest and greatest of this podcast content. Stay tuned. YouTube at CVMK, one word, 4 letters. Instagram, it is what it is _show. CVMK _global. CVMK33, and the best supplements, y'all. If you go to GNC, if you go to Walgreens, and if I see you go to any of those stores and have a conversation with me, I'm gonna slap you in the spirit. I don't mean like I'm gonna slap you, but don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, because I didn't not cuss you out, but I didn't thought about it. www.cvmkglobal.store. I want to thank my guest, Carleen. Is absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying that. My wife tells me everything. And my mama tells me everything. Women don't lie. So
right.
If you can't
do hair,
if you can't do hair, you're gonna be, that's a conversation. That's a long ride home. So
yeah,
she's worth the support. She's worth it. www.cvmkglobal.store. And until next time, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.